Hey, this is Smokin' Dave, and you're listening to a man who is proud to say he watched zero coverage of the royal wedding. It's the Kevin Friedman Show.
Hey now, it's May 22nd and another SportsGossip.com podcast is on the air. I'm your host Kevin Friedman along with my announcer Smokin' Dave, and together we will bring you 10 of the hottest stories off the SportsGossip.com website. Before we get started, I want to say I'm pissed off. We were going to do a story about the Houston Rockets fan who had the clever sign, "I'm Indian, but I hate curry," and we managed to book the man to be on the podcast as our special guest. I recorded the interview yesterday and it went great. The only problem is, we couldn't hear his audio. And you know why? Because we trusted some piece of shit app from Call App Studio called Call Recorder. We found it in the App Store. It was highly rated. We downloaded it. We tested it 4 times. It worked every time. Then we do the interview, and of course, it doesn't work. So before we get started, I just want to tell all my listeners, do not download anything from Call App Studio. They're a piece of shit company. I tried to contact them to see if they could fix it. They don't even respond. Bunch of assholes.
I'm looking up the guy who owns this company right now. I'm gonna find him and give him the beating of his life.
Sounds good to me. Before you do that, give us that first story.
Collusion case reveals teams viewed Colin Kaepernick as a starter in 2017.
Kaepernick's collusion case against the NFL is still ongoing as owners and coaches continue to give depositions. And according to testimony from one of the witnesses in these depositions, Kaepernick was viewed as good enough to start in the NFL in 2017. Now, the fact that depositions are needed to figure this out in the first place is a big joke to me. Going into the 2017 season, teams like San Francisco had Brian Hoyer as their starting quarterback, the Jets had Josh McCown, the Houston Texans Tom Savage, and the Bears' Mike Glennon. And any dummy who's watched any football games can realize Kaepernick's more talented than all 4 of those guys. Actually, there's one exception to that rule, Bears GM Ryan Pace. That idiot probably believed Mike Glennon was better than Kaepernick, because he gave him $16 million. Anyways, I expect Kaepernick to win this collusion case, and my question is, how much money is he going to get? I say he should get the average starting quarterback's NFL salary for every year he has to sit out, and that's probably over $10 million. We'll see how long the lawyers drag this out in court, but when it's all said and done, I could see the NFL paying out quite a large sum to Colin Kaepernick. All right, we have a caller on the line before we get to our next story. Caller, are you there?
Well, hey there, Kevin. This is Antonio Finkelstein.
Antonio Finkelstein of the world-famous Antonio Finkelstein's prostitution app. What's up?
Well, I heard about your problems with that app company, and I'm really mad.
Yes, so am I.
Well, I just wanted to remind you that Antonio Finkelstein's prostitution app never fails.
I can attest to that. I've used it 19 times already.
Yeah, that's great, but how does that help me? Does your prostitution app record phone calls?
No, sorry, it does not. But if you ever need a prostitute, I guarantee my app will work for you.
Thanks for the call, Antonio. You're zero help. Dave, what's next?
Tom Brady absent for start of Patriots OTAs.
Brady did not show up to the opening of organized team activities in New England yesterday. These are voluntary, but Brady has been at every one in the past. He's been a part of 0 team activities this offseason for New England. There's been rumors for months now that he and Belichick are not on the greatest terms. In case you do not remember, Belichick banned Brady's trainer from the New England Patriots facilities last year, and obviously Brady is not too happy about this. He's probably also not too happy about the rumor that Belichick wanted to keep Garoppolo over him, and I guess his best way to show his anger is to not show up to OTAs. Rob Gronkowski was also absent from the voluntary OTAs. Brady and Gronkowski are expected to report for the mandatory minicamp, which is scheduled for June 5th through 7th. We'll stay tuned to see if they end up showing up. Dave, what's next?
Tom Brady and Giselle spending time in NYC.
Well, while Brady was not at voluntary OTAs, he was in New York, and SportsGossip.com has the pictures to prove it. He was with his wife and his kids, strolling around New York City. You can check out the pictures at SportsGossip.com. Dave, what's next?
White Sox fans spend 6 innings eating 12 scoops of ice cream.
This moron bought a full-size White Sox helmet, filled it with 12 scoops of ice cream, which equaled 3 pounds and 2,700 calories, and spent 6 innings eating it during the game. Typical White Sox fan, if you ask me. And if you live in Chicago and you choose to be a White Sox fan over a Cubs fan, then you've got mental problems, and this guy just proves it. Even when the White Sox are good, they have trouble filling up their stadium. When the Cubs stink, their fans still sell out the place. Not to mention, Sox fans are some of the most unattractive people you'll ever see. If you ask me, you should move the White Sox to Indiana, get them out of Chicago. Only about 15% of the city likes them, and with moron fans who sit there and eat 3 pounds of ice cream, you can see why. Anyways, if you want to watch this scumbag eat himself to a future heart attack, you can check out the video at sportsgossip.com. Dave, what's next?
Johnny Manziel's new coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats says he's not starting.
Johnny Football signed a deal with the Canadian Football League, and shortly after that, his head coach June Jones made it clear that QB Jeremiah Masoli is the team starter right now, not Johnny. Johnny Football doesn't seem too bothered by that announcement, as he was quoted saying, "I am humbled to be here and very excited to be here, and this isn't just a pit stop for me. I'm not just coming here to get what I need and go back down to the NFL." Now he's saying the right things, but let's be honest. A second-string quarterback in the CFL is not where Johnny Football wants to be. There's no way he's excited to be there. And as far as the team not starting him, it seems like a pretty stupid idea to me. I mean, how good can the current starting quarterback be? He's in the CFL. Johnny Football at worst is going to draw fans to your building, so why not start him? Anyways, eventually he'll be starting, I'm sure, and we'll see if he has the talent to get himself back in the NFL. I'm guessing no chance. And that's 5 stories down, 5 to go. We got to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, this is a big dong, and I still have a Michigan State sweatshirt for sale, signed by Larry Nassar. I give you a very good deal. You contact me, bigdong@yahoo.com. Thank you.
And we're back. Before we get to that next story, we have a caller on the line. It's Rocko the Enforcer. Rocko, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
Not too much, Rocko. In case our listeners don't remember, Rocko called in the other week after being fired by Don Mastacholi because of the announcement that sports gambling is going to be legal in all 50 states. Rocko, you find a new job yet?
Not yet. If anybody out there's hiring and you need someone to break some kneecaps, I'm your man. In fact, I heard you talking about that shitty app that screwed you over. If you want, I'll go find the developer and break his kneecaps for you.
Well, Rocko, I appreciate the offer. I might even take you up on it. What do you charge for broken kneecaps?
Don Mastacholi used to give me $50 per knee, but for you, I'll do it for $25.
All right, Rocko, I appreciate the discount. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Dave, give us that next story.
All the fights, craziness, and mud from the Preakness.
I thought horse racing fans were supposed to be classy, but after watching these videos, they make NASCAR fans look tame. You gotta go to sportsgossip.com to check out these videos for yourself. We got one drunk guy running across a bunch of porta potties and falling off into a pile of mud. Another video has 3 drunk girls dancing on a podium together, and one of them knocks her friend off the podium, and she goes flying into the mud. And another video is of a huge crowd watching 2 girls mud wrestling in a big pit. It was crazy this weekend at the Preakness. Dave, you would have been in heaven.
God damn it, I was gonna go to the Preakness this weekend, but I decided to go to the royal wedding instead.
You were invited to the royal wedding?
Oh yeah, me and the queen go way back. We used to date in the late 40s.
You dated the queen?
We were hot and heavy. We probably would have got married, but her parents hated me. Probably because I wasn't British. Or possibly because they caught me taking a dump in the Royal Rose Garden.
I'm guessing it's the latter. So how was the wedding?
Well, I got banned because they said I wasn't dressed properly.
What were you wearing?
I wore a really nice tuxedo. I just happened to cut holes in the butt cheeks of the pants because, hey, I gotta show off my immaculate butt cheeks. It's the royal wedding.
Well, you should have went to the Preakness because I guarantee you wouldn't have been banned there. Could have done anything you wanted. Again, you can go to sportsgossip.com to check out all these videos. It is definitely worth your time. Dave, give us that next story.
Serena Williams at the royal wedding.
Well, Dave might have been banned from the ceremony, but Serena Williams was not. And in addition to the ceremony, Serena was one of only 200 invited to the second reception at Frogmore House to continue the wedding celebrations after the ceremony. Serena brought a change of clothes for the second party, and you can check out her before and after pictures on sportsgossip.com. Dave, did you bring an outfit change for the party?
Of course. I was gonna wear those assless chaps I bought off Big Dong last month.
I'm sure you would have been the talk of the party. What's next?
Brian Windhorse says LeBron not going to play for the Lakers or Rockets.
LeBron and the Cavs beat the Celtics 111-102 last night to even up their series at 2 games apiece. I said it when they were down 0-2, and obviously I'm sticking to my prediction. The Cavs will win this series. It's probably going to take 7 games, and they're going to lose to Golden State in the finals. Probably in 5 games. LeBron's got to leave Cleveland unless they manage to get him some major help, and according to Windhorse, he is not going to the Rockets or the Lakers because he doesn't want to play in the Western Conference. Windhorse says it's too tough of a road, and he's got to stay in the East. And I say that's a crock of shit. There's one team to beat in this league, and it's Golden State. You're going to have to beat them whether you're in the East or the West. So if I'm LeBron, I'm picking the best team in the West, getting another great free agent to go with me, and joining them. And that team is Oklahoma City. You give me LeBron, Westbrook, and another All-Star, and that team beats Golden State. I don't see any teams in the East that LeBron's going to join that's going to make them better than Golden State. So LeBron, if you're smart, you're listening to this podcast, you grab one other All-Star, you talk to Westbrook, and you get this going. Because you can win more titles in Oklahoma City. Alright, before we get to our next story, I see another caller on the line. Oh, it's Ivan Babushka, everybody's favorite Russian. Ivan, what's up?
Milosh, Kevin, I hear you do story about Tom Brady earlier in show. Did you see jacket Tom Brady wore to Met Gala?
Yeah, he wore some black jacket with some gold stuff on it.
Yes, Tom Brady is not manly man like you and me, Kevin. He is girly man, like Smoking Dave.
Screw you, Babushka.
Alright, guys, we're not getting into this again. We don't have enough time. Ivan, thanks for the call. Dave, what's next?
Rafael Palmeiro hit a home run in an independent league game.
The 53-year-old former MLB star Palmeiro hit a home run for his first official hit as a member of the Claiborne Railroaders. It was his first professional homer since 2005. You can listen to the call at sportsgossip.com. Now, if you ask me, I'm not impressed. I mean, this is the independent league. Anybody with any talent would be in single A, double A, triple A, but not the independent league. Is it impressive to hit a homer at 53 against younger people? I guess, but if you're an MLB All-Star, it's not that impressive. Anyways, how is Palmeiro not in jail? The guy went on national TV, stuck his finger out, and yelled at congressmen in a hearing about steroids. He basically yelled at them that he never did steroids, giving off the impression that he was offended that they even brought him there to ask him about it. And then he got busted for steroids shortly after. I mean, I guess you can yell at and lie to senators at a congressional hearing and get away with it. Anyways, congrats to Palmeiro on his independent league homer.
My cousin Melvin's in the independent league, and he's half blind and hooked on heroin.
How do you know he's hooked on heroin?
How do you think? I'm his dealer.
I'm sorry I asked. Give us that final story.
Astros fan reaches over the wall and interferes with a ball in play and gets yelled at by his wife.
This douche was sitting in the first row down the right field line at Minute Maid Park the other night for the Astros game and interfered with a ball in play by leaning over the railing with his glove and attempting to grab the ball. He, of course, did not make the play but touched the ball, therefore costing his team a run, and afterwards you can see his wife give him a death stare and start yelling at him, and it was very well deserved. First off, if you're over 12 years old and you're bringing a glove to a baseball game, you shouldn't be allowed in. And then you go and pull a Bartman, and you can't even make the play because you're some fat out-of-shape slump, and you cost your team a run. Luckily, the Astros went on to win, so it didn't matter. But this guy should be banned from all future games. And all you fans that sit in the first row, get your head out of your asses and quit interfering with balls. Nothing drives me crazier. I'm a Cubs fan. I've forgiven Steve Bartman only because the Cubs won a World Series, but it still drives me crazy to watch these moron fans interfere with balls that are in play. And that'll wrap things up on the SportsGossip.com podcast. I want to thank my announcer, Smokin' Dave. Thanks to everyone who called in, and of course, thank you for listening. As always, for these stories and much, much more, you can go to SportsGossip.com. Our next podcast is Friday, and until then, we'll see you next time.